Joining us this morning, we have Pastor Phil Taylor from Grace Fellowship Church. Kennedy with Phil this morning. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's always fun having you guys on.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
it's very
you.
good to be here with you.
Always something going on at Grace Fellowship Church. Babs, what's happening?
Well, we have an event coming up on Saturday that is our Kilimanjaro bike ride. And we did it last year. We had Pastor Phil and a team of bike riders ride 50 kilometers?
Well, we did 50 miles.
50 miles.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, I'll let him explain that. But we are raising funds for our Maasai mission in Tanzania. And so I don't know if you want to hear about our Maasai mission or you want to hear about the bike ride.
Well, let's start with the mission and sort of the needs that come up with that, and then how this fits in with that.
Okay, well, this year we are focusing our fundraising towards, there is a large farm in Tanzania that is run by our the pastor of the church that was started there in the Samendo Valley. And this farm supports the church. I mean, they grow a lot of food for the people of the church, but they also support the surrounding community. And it's an organic farm, which is really important there because unfortunately they have access to a lot of pesticides and they use those pesticides in other farms. So a lot of the beautiful produce that you see at those farmers markets when you go to Africa, a lot of them are grown with a lot of pesticides. So that's a problem. But this farm is organic. And so we want to help them along. They've had a drought now for a year and a half. They have a lot of insect problems. They have animal problems. They've got goats. One time they had elephants come in and kind of destroy their garden. They have need for good fertilizer, good seed, paid labor. They have a possibility of buying a little parcel of land to go, to expand their farm. So we are raising funds to support them and to promote their organic farm there.
Have they seen a lot of illness due to the pesticides or a lot of health issues?
Yes, there's a lot of cancer.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the pesticides, that it gets heavily concentrated in their produce. And then anybody who is, eating, that's the most readily available food source for them. Meat isn't something that's extremely common in some of the poorer families. They have some access to meat, but their primary source of nutrition is from farming. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's what they call maize. What is that? That's
corn.
The corn. Yeah, that's their corn. Just everything is it's not just a little bit. It's heavily concentrated, and then when they cook with it, those chemicals are released, and it's pretty toxic to them.
Babs, how long ago would you say this relationship started with the folks over there?
it was 5 years ago.
Wow.
This is our 5th year.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And a lot has been done there through your efforts. Is this something that when you're there, you guys are looking around and saying, I wonder if they need help with this? Or are they coming to you and saying, boy, we would like to do this? How does this work? How did you guys come up on this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
You ask really good questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can end the show. I'm only allowed 2 a day.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a relationship with a couple who, Ann and Steve Street, who have lived there for, probably
since
30,
1984.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a long time. And so they're the ones who actually started the church. And so they share everything with us. We stay in their guest house when we stay there, and we eat meals with them. Everywhere we go with them, and they just share everything. All their concerns, everything that they know about the people in the church and the problems they have. And we just pray continuously while we're there. And they have insurmountable problems just with just the whole life there, the government, the illnesses, the just the poverty, and so we always talk to them about what are the greatest needs, and they share with us what that is.
And something that's really beautiful about what they do is they don't the efforts that they have aren't in the Western world trying to prop up the nationals that are there. Their main purpose is to give them ways that they can begin to support themselves through their own efforts, because what they've recognized over the last 30 years of being there is that when something is just plopped in their lap, and I don't know that this is necessarily a people group issue. I think this is the way most people are, is that, this was given to me, and then we don't treat it the same way as if it was something that we worked for. And so they really work hard at including the locals and saying, here's something that, yes, this is a need, but here's how we can empower them to get this thing to happen. Like, for example, the water well that was constructed there was completely constructed by them. Mm-hmm. We didn't build it. We helped with resources and things like that, but they built it. Then there was a lot of politicking that went on, that they all had to work out. We didn't like storm into their council meetings and say this needs, as the powerful West or whatever.
This is truly a teach a man to fish type of a thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
We're helping with the.
Yeah,
we don't just say, hey, whatever you need, just we do have that in our heart. But at the same time, we understand there's a process that they need to go through so that something can actually have a life of its own. Yes. And it's been wonderful to see that happen.
Yes. And they are very self-motivated. Mm-hmm. When we were starting to, initiate building the water tank, they knew what district meeting they needed to go to and what paperwork needed to be filled out. And these are Maasai people. Wow. And they went to the proper authorities. They filled out the paperwork. They laid all the groundwork. They hired all the workers. It was incredible to see.
Have you ever encountered any issues with the government, or has it, because things have been done properly, it hasn't been that big of an issue?
They've had some hang-ups that they've had to work through. I don't think that if you're meaning like us personally, we never have, because that's something that we wouldn't even understand how to operate in that arena. And so, and truth be told, even though Steve and Ann are fluent in Swahili, they're able to get the right people so that they can communicate in Maasai. Really, when it comes down to holding a meeting, it is up to the Maasai people. The pastor of the church, Abraham, is just as proficient as can be with, here's the things that need to be done, here's the pace even, because I think sometimes too in like a Western mentality, we need to like push through and make this thing happen. They completely understand, first you have to build a relationship with the city council, or what they have actually is like the council of elders and all this kind of stuff, and you can't just march right in. And you also have to show how the project that you're working on actually benefits the community at large, not just, if this was something that we had to get permission to do so that the church would grow, that wouldn't fly. It needs to be something that benefits the entire community. And Steve and Ann are beautiful at making sure that it does benefit the community.
Yeah, Babs, I think in the past you've said, even with the water tank, there had to be an explanation of why this was going to be beneficial, help the women, and they had to like sit and meet and discuss that, right?
Yes. We actually went to the elders meeting, and they were so kind to us and so welcoming, and in a very masculine society, they welcomed women, and it was just a beautiful. It
was very interesting to see their response. They understood that their women are working very hard just to get the simple thing of water back to their homes, and they were very interested in solving that problem.
Yeah.
So as you're having these conversations, do you kind of jot everything down on a sheet of paper, and then when you get home you kind of discuss the trip and look at things and say, boy, what's something else we can help with? Oh, well, here's 20 things what would be important on this list, or do you rank them like that, or I mean, how does that work?
We talk about it, and we don't forget. You just can't ever forget your experience over there. And as soon as we start to talk about it, we, go over it all again.
And that's the thing, too, is that there's nobody over there that we're connected with that is constantly asking for help. They truly present it as, this is something that we're working on, and we're hoping for a solution. And they really are just having conversation with us and sharing with them. And then when we come back, that's pretty much what we do, is we're like, I wonder how we could be a part of that. And sometimes we are, and sometimes there's some things that we've heard about that we know that they're eventually going to be able to get a solution for. So we don't necessarily jump on everything, but there's been times when we've helped students go to school that there's no way that they would, or someone had insurmountable medical bills because one young man was actually attacked by a hippopotamus, which to us is like, what? How in the world did that happen? But he was within moments of his life, and he was able to basically fully recover. They said he'd never walk again, and we're helping him go to school. And
wow,
he is walking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's just been amazing. And come to find out, a hippopotamus attack there is actually common and deadly. Like, you don't usually survive them. So stuff like that. It's really impressive.
So that leads to the event happening this weekend, and something that you guys did last year. And I remember, can't remember if we were driving to Erie or coming home, thinking, "Oh, we're going to see these guys." Oh, it must have been coming home. I think we're going to pass these guys. And you had already made it back. And I was like, I don't know how they rode so quickly. I mean, it was pretty impressive. But talk about what's going on this weekend.
Yeah. Do you want me to do that
Yeah.
part? Okay. So what we did last year is we picked a spot and we rode 50 miles. And the initial part of the ride, because we've also done benefit 5K and 10Ks, this particular thing was, the initial idea was, this is how far a lady has to walk to get her water. And we were just kind of doing it as a symbolic thing. But what it turned out to be was just more like a benefit ride. It's not a race or anything like that. And so now what we're doing this year is we're doing 100 kilometers, because we realized 50 miles, by the time we did everything, we were done. I think we actually clocked in just under 55 miles, and 62 miles is 100 kilometers. So like, what's another 7 miles when you're going that far? So we upticked it to 100 kilometers, and we're just doing that. It's an awareness thing. We have a truck that follows us with a trailer that has our banner on the side of it.
Great idea.
And just letting people know what's happening. The local community and business owners have just really shown up and supported it through donations and things like that. But that's really what it is. It's an awareness thing. And we're just finding different ways that we can get the message out that there's some people that really are wanting to better their lives, and we can be a part of that.
That's wonderful. And they can go to the website to learn more or to donate?
Yes, we have if they go to GFC Titusville.com, we do have a link there that talks about the event itself, how they can donate, and it's all there. They can digitally donate.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream Television and on Armstrong's Neighborhood Channel, and listening to it on the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. Babs, I know afterwards everybody's excited, and last year, celebrating everybody coming back. Was that just because of the success, or you didn't think they would make it back, and you're just happy to see them?
Yeah, we didn't know what was going to happen last year. We didn't know if they were going to come back in the trailer or they were going to, but it just...
They actually did it.
They did it, and it was really exciting to see them come by the church, and then they went into town and did a loop around town, and...
Oh, that's really cool.
And then the whole church turned out, and we, cheer them on over the finish line. We had a finish line. It wasn't like it was a race, but it was just fun to do.
Yeah.
And we had a big church
Well, that's
picnic.
wonderful. That should be celebrated. That's great. Now, Phil, if somebody wants to participate, can they do that, or is it just members of the church?
No, yeah, well, that's one thing that we've kind of struggled with is we actually, people are more than welcome to join us, but just as it turns out, we're still kind of figuring out how to make sure that somebody that signs up really understands what we're doing.
Yeah.
One, it's not a race, and then two, the distance. And so we would just be concerned that somebody might sign up and then not realize, wait a second, this is a pretty involved thing, and we take a lot of side roads, and so there is some climbing and things we try to avoid, like Route 8, for example. We're only on there from like Hydetown into here, so things like that. So we haven't done, and that's mostly on me because Babs has asked me, leading up to this, how we need to get some more people involved, and I'm kind of like, I just don't want somebody to be surprised. But yes, if somebody is comfortable on their bike, even now, if they wanted to, there's a place where they can register to ride with us, and they would be more than welcome. Did we have 6 or 7 riders last year? Mm-hmm. And so we have about half of that right now, but it's not really necessarily about the number of riders. It's through sponsorships and things like that. But if somebody is comfortable on their bike and they want to ride 100 kilometers with us, if somebody's a decent rider, that's really not. It sounds ominous, but it's really not a really involved thing. We've been very careful about the route that we choose and things like that.
And more importantly, the donation part of it. If you really want to help. Yeah, riding, if you're into that, mm-hmm. great. But, here's how you can help and make a difference someplace in the world.
Yeah, everybody can click on and get just even a few dollars or whatever. It goes a long way.
When was the last time you guys were over there?
It's 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Any upcoming trips planned?
Well, we are in the works of, because we have a number, as it turns out, a number of projects in East Africa. And so we're trying to see, Dr. Kennedy is involved with some translation on some things. We have an orphanage that's in Uganda that we work real closely with. We are working on that. We don't have any definite dates yet.
Is it all within a certain radius, or do you guys do a lot of traveling when you're over there to visit other different spots?
That's kind of more what it's like.
Is it?
Well, you do. I don't.
Yeah.
I go just to the Magori or
it's in Moshi.
Moshi.
Yeah.
And
this particular project's Moshi, Tanzania.
yeah.
Wow.
And then Scott went last year and took translating equipment over, so a pastor could start to translate Bible curriculum into the Maasai language, which they have never had before. And so that was 1 year ago, and this pastor has translated, he's probably on his 3rd trimester by now. Mm-hmm. And so that's very exciting, for them to actually hear Bible curriculum in their own language, because a lot of the Maasai do not speak Swahili. The elders do, and maybe, more educated ones, but the people in the tribes a lot of times do not, they speak Maasai. And so this is very helpful for them.
Mm-hmm.
Phil, I know when you're over there, and we get to see pictures and sometimes the video, it's a powerful thing to see that. And I don't know if folks can go to your Facebook page and scroll down and find some of that stuff, but if you get the chance, take a look at it, because it is very powerful to see that.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. The Bible school that we work with, that's also in Moshi. There's places that we work with in Nairobi, Kenya. It's just incredible to see what the Lord is doing just through efforts like this that seem small at the time, but they have a very long-lasting effect on the people.
Again, if folks have any questions, they want to donate, learn more, they can go to what website?
GFC Titusville.com, and there's a banner right at the top of the page that has a way to connect with the ride.
All the best. Good luck with everything.
Thank you, Luke. Thank
That's
you so
very
much.
exciting,
Thank
and you'll have to
you.
come back and update us on the project, and which I know you guys do, and we appreciate that. It's fascinating to just see how things have grown over the last handful of years. So,
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
good luck. Are you riding?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I thought you had that hip injury or something.
I know, right?
Well, best of luck.
All right, thank
thanks.
you.
Good to see you,
All right.
Beth.
All
Good to
right.
see you, Phil.
Again.
Yep, bye.
Superman.